Here we go. This is fan commentary for season 3, episode 4 of Twin Peaks, and it has literally just gone midnight. It's 20 past 12 on the 23rd of May 2017, the day after the launch of the brand new series of Twin Peaks. I watched the first 3 episodes. I thought I'd stop being such a pussy and watch one with all the lights off, apart from a bit of mood lighting and the coal effect fire. But yeah, just watched them first 3 episodes, and it really is fascinating though. Oh, there's the music composed by Angelo Bedlamarty. How about that for butchering somebody's name? Great to get the original composer back. And what's really kind of funny about this show though, because I used to watch it as a kid, and it's actually bringing back loads of memories in a lot of ways, because it used to be obviously the original run used to be on late at night, and there used to be a puppet show on a British TV called Central Weekend, and that always used to freak me out. It was that uncanny valley. But Twin Peaks, with it being so weird, that used to always freak me out, and I've got like memories of watching like Eraserhead at night and Cronenberg stuff at night and The Shining, and that just puts me in mind of The Shining there, those weird angular markings there of like the Red Room and things. So yeah, like I say, I've just watched the 3rd episode where Agent Cooper was winning all the money at the gambling machine, and the guy there on the far left, that security guard, looks really familiar. There's the guy in the middle there is from The Dark Knight. But one thing that was funny leading up to this relaunch of Twin Peaks was I've got I was going to say a bad habit, but I guess it could be a good habit of going on Internet Movie Database just for when I've watched a film on TV or been to cinema, see a film, or if somebody's talking about a new film. And so many people's names I clicked on were going to be in this new updated version of Twin Peaks. So I was like, oh wow, it's just really funny to sort of just see people's names cropping up. I should say spoilers, I mean, for sort of any little facts that I might know. I mean, I don't really know that many, but like I say, with watching the first 3 episodes, and then like I say, obviously doing the commentary for this one, and I might just stumble on a few spoilers, but then I see the guy off the push bike from In the Method Madness there, just talking to Agent Cooper. What is kind of funny though, because like I say, just watching the ones from earlier on this morning, but Matthew Lillard really stood out to me. Absolutely amazing powerhouse performance acting, and just the way the actress who was playing his wife, just that like, and there's one thing that scares me more than anything watching things with good acting in is like when you get like women that are like give that like evil menacing look, and it's like more scary to me than if like sort of if there's like a guy with like one eye or something. It also kind of reminded me of Halloween 3 in a lot of ways, the way there was a woman killed with her eye socket. Oh, there's Randy from My Name Was Earl and Mallrats. That was one thing as well. Yeah, the way the woman was killed with her eye removed, and then the way they went into sort of a motel was really like Halloween 3. And then there's one part where it was evil Agent Cooper is grabbing somebody by the face, and it just reminded me of the security guards from Halloween 3. That's one thing though as well, because I just saw somebody smoking in the background. And anybody who's listened to anything I've ever recorded or anything I've ever written down on the internet, always love smoking in movies, and I don't mind smoking in real life even though I don't smoke, but yeah, quite a few characters smoking in this I thought was quite good. Always a sign of a good film, smoking and a payphone. I haven't seen a payphone in it yet, I've seen a corded phone. They mentioned payphones in the last episode, funnily enough. What's funny though, because I'm watching it with the sound really low just in case it flags for copyright. But this morning I was watching it with I was doing some washing, party on, and there was one part where it might have been Laura Palmer said something like, I think it might have been coming off a record player, and it said, listen to, oh, that's just running low. Phew, Philip's close. This battery's a bit temperamental, it sometimes just shut down. I thought I could have sworn left the battery on. Yeah, but I've been watching him. I watched the third episode quite clean, because I just was watching it just doing one relatively late at night. I had to turn it down when the loud banging was coming on. I thought that was actually kind of freaky. I'm glad I am. Unless there's people who've watched this episode might already know something's coming up, but like I say, literally it's just 26 minutes past midnight now. There's some really good gestures in this. I like the way he was like running, and that guy, the guy from The Dark Knight. But yeah, that bit with the banging, he says, "You've got to go before my mother comes." That was really freaky. So I hope nothing that freaky comes on, because like I say, I've got my cat behind me, and that's all I've got really. So like I said, I've got the curtains wide open, and what's really funny, if it wasn't for these trees and buildings, the way on the other side of those buildings is a big huge billboard with Laura Palmer on for Twin Peaks. So it's amazing to think something so weird and messed up is being advertised in a huge billboard across the road. It's like being in America or something. What's funny, I was going to do a commentary on the first couple of episodes, because I thought that's all that had been released today, and then Tom sent me a message saying that there was 4 episodes, so I just watched the third one, and then I've literally just sort of like I say, just on a whim, going to do this commentary for this, but I've literally got a full page of A4 both sides of notes for the first 2 episodes, and I'd wrote down everything like apartment numbers and quotes and all these different things, and now it's totally useless. What was kind of funny, because I went on a club trip to Bangor races with my dad, and 2 of the people that were on the coach were, I mentioned them on loads of commentaries, were some members of the family that used to live across the road from me, and they used to let me watch loads of videos and use their Skybox and stuff like that, which funnily enough this premiered on Sky Atlantic and Showtime in America. But yeah, these 2 people, 2 of the 3 people that used to live across the road from me were on this club trip, and we were talking about like lots of new films and lots of new TV shows and all these different things. And my dad had got a newspaper with the horse season for when we go, like say, Bangor races, and one of them was like the TV guide, and it got like a little section about this reboot of Twin Peaks. And I said to these 2 people who used to live across the road from Cecil and Simon, I said, oh, that's when Twin Peaks is starting. It was so funny. It's just like how it just was not on their radar at all, and they mustn't have been into it when it was previously on. They were like, so? But one thing I thought was funny watching those first couple of episodes this morning, there's one part where Laura Palmer says something like, "See you in 25 years." And if that's how series 2 ended, I really do think that David Lynch is absolutely incredible, because that is really amazing to me. It's like when Superman 4 ended and it said "see you in 20", and that was when Superman Returns came out, but I think that was more of a fluke than anything. Just won a load of money there, Agent Cooper. But it really does show, and talking about Superman though, that like when you see Christopher Reeve and when he's Clark Kent and he's like all hunched over and all like clumsy and shy, but it shows how good an actor MacLachlan is. The fact that we see him as the badass Agent Cooper, and he's a badass, and it was so amazing when he was like disarming that guy. And one of my favourite lines so far in this series so far was when we're in a world full of truckers. I don't know why, that just really stuck out. That was a great line as well when the reception at the police station said, which of the sheriffs are you looking for, and that guy came in and said he said he didn't know, and then you just like, oh well, one of them's sick and one of them's working, and then you just end up leaving his card and walking out. I love that scene. Yeah, when you just see him as like the badass Agent Cooper and he's like kicking ass, and then when you see him as like the normal Agent Cooper, and then he's different again. And like now, since he was with the version of Agent Cooper who was with that prostitute, and he was sick and like some of his body came out, and now he's almost as if there's part of him that's been removed, and he's almost different again. But that was one thing though, and I don't know the exact reasoning behind it, but like I said, I've only seen 3 episodes so far, but one of them, when the credits start, it says it's starring MacLachlan. Then the rest of the credits start and it says in alphabetical order. I don't think I've ever seen credits like that before where they're in alphabetical order, apart from one name. What's the number there? 25410, I think it might have been. That was nothing though as well in that room where the woman said, "You've got to go before my mum comes." It was that banging. It was a 15 on the like thing that led into the cigarette lighter, and the car with TJF as the number plate. And then when the banging stopped, it went down to like a 3. And yeah, I'm sure some of these numbers could just purely be there arbitrarily, but I'm trying to keep a track of the numbers. And as well, when Matthew Lillard was in the first episode, I'll have to watch this a few more times to confirm it, but I think his address might have been Elm Street, which was pretty cool. It's gone very dark then on the screen, and I'm just looking outside the window and it's terrifying. If anybody listens to the Salem's Lot commentary will realise that I absolutely hate looking through the window at night. So I'm being a brave little soldier at the moment. 25140 was the house number. Well, that's Naomi Watson, who was in Mulholland Drive, a previous David Lynch film. That was on at my local art cinema the other week, the film theatre, but I didn't go. I feel like a massive cop out now. She's been told off. I had the other way around. It's his birthday. It's kind of really funny though about like what I do. One thing as well I noticed here, and don't get me wrong, David Lynch is like, I was saying before, he's like a certified genius in some ways, because to paraphrase Ghostbusters, because you see loads of people that try to do quote unquote weird stuff. Just looking at the bag of money there. Beverly's got 2-liner bag about this big, this I fall to the brim with money. But yeah, you see a load of people try to copy David Lynch, and they just, try to do, like say, bizarre things, they just don't quite do it. But I didn't know if I just stumble on a little bit of a formula earlier on, but there's very slight pauses between when each character speaks again, and this just seems to hold them shots a little bit longer than normal. But talk about that though, there's a couple of shots in the very first episode they might have shot them with high dynamic range, I think it's called, where they shoot the same shot 3 times and like combine the colours. But the shots of New York in the first episode was amazing, and I really loved that, where it seemed like it was like either a projector projecting New York out from a building, or it was recording it in. I couldn't quite figure out which one, but either way it was pretty awesome. And when that Tracy came in with the coffee, I did think that they're not going to see it when they were making out, but they did, and obviously they go attacked and stuff like that. That was one thing though, actually, because like I say, with game banger races with my dad, I've been drinking loads the last couple of days, and I feel like I've hardly had any sleep. I had a really bizarro dream actually last night about being on this theme park ride, and Two Tribes, File Under Rock was playing in it and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, so I've just been coming off alcohol with hardly any sleep, and like I say, it's like we're way past midnight, we're 35 minutes past midnight, so this is probably the perfect time to do a Twin Peaks commentary actually. Like I say, it's late at night and it's like, oh my god. David Lynch there, director cameo. I love how as well everybody in this seems like they've got really interesting looking faces, and I did actually think this in the first couple of episodes, and it's a terrible thing to say really, but some of the actors, I couldn't tell if they'd actually sort of shot them in a certain way or put a few little effects on there just to make them stand out a little bit, or it was just, you know, just some people who were like, you know, got interesting faces. The effects were by KMB, I noticed in the credits, and I think it was shot on film. And conversely enough, I think the first 3 episodes have been dedicated to 4 people, so rest in peace there, fellas. The Lynch there looking pretty good. Do you ever find David Duchovny there? I saw David Duchovny actually in an interview with Gillian Anderson from about a year ago on Seth MacFarlane. It was from a year ago, so it was about half an hour ago, and they were saying they didn't get on, but now they really do. What's funny though, 'cause think about it, yeah, I remember saying, I think it was his first role, David Duchovny in Twin Peaks. Unless it's actually meant to be a woman in this, I'm not 100% sure. What's funny, because like I say, I used to watch it as a kid, and I've got the actual soundtrack here on cassette, and but it's one of those shows where I remember seeing loads of things about it in Empire magazine. I always distinctly remember the headline, "Who Killed Laura Palmer?" And like I say, it got me, shows like this really got me into David Lynch and like arty cinema and sort of stuff that wasn't quote unquote normal, but because I only watched like a handful of episodes, and every so often, like when the Log Lady came on earlier on, and I was like, oh, and that was nothing at all. It was one character with like, it looked like a tablet mobile phone, but like a really big version of it, and again, it was just that thing that just sets you off kilter. But yeah, because I did used to watch this as a kid, but I still don't, and you know, now to coin a phrase from one of the comments on one of my other previous videos, all my credibility will be gone when I've said there's the zero credibility that I do in this commentary. But yeah, I still don't know if they ever figured out who killed Laura Palmer, or if it was something that was sorted out in the Fire Walk With Me film, which I still haven't actually seen to this day. Apparently, I don't like just reading trivia off Internet Movie Database because it seems a little bit pointless, but I think this one is worthy of mention. Apparently all the actors only got their scripts on the day of filming, and afterwards the scripts were shredded, so there shouldn't be too many spoilers out there at the moment. Seeing some headlights going in the street. What's funny earlier on, he's just gone time for good buddy. Earlier on, one of the characters goes R-E-S-P-E-C-T, and I was thinking, oh, they do like the song. think of David Duchovny. I liked every other shot of the Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department. There's been some cool light coming in the trees. I just actually WhatsApped Tom, and I just said, oh, she's one of my favourite characters, and he said, oh, she was good in the original, and I couldn't remember from the original. Like I say, it's a bit of a hodgepodge. Is that a phrase? It is now, but this is it's a bit of a like random jumble of what I can't remember from Twin Peaks, but what I do like, and it's one thing that makes Napoleon Dynamite so good, is this almost could be set in any decade really, from about like 1991 to like now, apart from those tablet phones maybe. Oh, wow, was that Robert Forster from The Black Hole and the Psycho remake and Jackie Brown. He's such a great actor though. Oh. That was actually quite freaky. There was she probably had one of those chocolate bunnies. Just as I go though, this could be set in any decade. And he's got like a really new mobile phone. Can you believe though, this I haven't got a themed drink, and I could really do with a cup of coffee, and this is the perfect film to be the perfect show to be watching with a cup of coffee. I got his hello, I need sleep. Oh, look at that monitor there. It's kind of Halloween 2 rated. Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween what? Screen there, it's like teletext. That was one thing actually when I first went to Cecil and Simon, it's big horse racing fans, and I said, oh, remember years ago when you used to get your horse races by teletext, how would you get them now? And he goes, teletext. I was like, oh, okay. The magic of Freeview, bro. Oh yeah, but that's one thing as well, like say, like there when she fell over and it's there, I mean I thought it was quite freaky. I feel like there's going to be something in coming on and it's going to really freak me out. That was another thing as well though, talk about actors with interesting faces, that I can't remember what it was, but I remember seeing an advert once at my local job centre, and for ages I saved the printout for it, but it said need people with interesting looking faces and big eyes and big ears and oddly proportioned people, and it was it was for some kind of film or TV show, and I'd love to know what it was. It surely can't have been this. Photograph in the frame behind him, it almost looks like a Photoshop type thing. I know we aren't nowhere near the end of the episode yet, but that's a thought. Universal Studios today have announced that the new Universal Monsters shared universe is going to be called, what's it going to be called? I've said this in my lock screen. Dark Universe. Bride of Frankenstein is going to be the next film. Just get my screen ready for the random crew member. I like as well just how like the clothes look really normal, and again though it could almost be in any decade really. I like how Twin Peaks as well is 3 or 4 different entries in on IMDb just to make it really confusing. I've got the Twin Peaks page up. Twin Peaks next episode Sunday, June 4th. Picks up 25 years after the inhabitants of a quaint northwest town are stunned when their homecoming queen is murdered. probably a genuine random crew member, because I've only just got the IMDb page up. But what I really love about this though as well, because like I was saying earlier on, like there, and I know sometimes you're watching something that's quote unquote a bit out there, you sometimes look for, is the framing weird, or is the deliberate continuity errors and things like that. Well, I'm sure earlier on when that then people who were watching that could be the projecting room for New York. I'm sure there was a shot of a bonsai tree that wasn't normally there, and I'm sure occasionally, and I got this from like Room 237, the documentary about Stanley Kubrick, that he'd put deliberately put continuity errors in there. But yeah, so sometimes though, just looking for things like, say, people's, like that guy's hair on the left there, it's sticking up and things like that, and there's the stuff that's in there just deliberately to freak you out, and sound design and stuff like that. But I keep thinking that's Kevin Bacon, maybe it is. No, it's not. But yeah, so there's Laura Palmer there. So yeah, is it one of those mysteries folks, like did the kids in Dungeons and Dragons ever get back home, and did we ever find out who killed Laura Palmer? Oh no, the guys just freaking out. I didn't realise as well that Twin Peaks was created by two people. I always just thought it was David Lynch, but one clip I can't stop watching. Very bad at the time. It's no sign of the quality of the content of the program, folks. Just a bit sleepy. I hope that guy's house wasn't on Elm Street, and there's a picture of Laura Palmer when she died. I'm in big trouble here, folks, if I fall asleep. Yeah, but one clip I quote unquote can't stop watching is David Lynch talking about he almost directed Return of the Jedi, and I'm sure if he had directed it, it probably wouldn't have been as out there as this. But I still can't believe that like he was actually in the running, and sort of how forward thinking people like George Lucas and David Lynch are, that they're so in control of their own destiny that they can do stuff like that. But what I do love about David Lynch is, I'm not sure if there's some product placement, because I did see a clip but I didn't click on it, and it said David Lynch discusses product placement. But I know he sells his own coffee, and I don't know if it is coffees in this, but I think David Lynch as well does a voice for American Dad, and I can't believe that things like Return the Jedi, American Dad, and this can be all like connected to the same person. Like, how crazy is that? And I think as well though, like I said though, because I listened to so many commentaries late at night, because the view outside that window and then behind the sheriff is so much like what I can see out the window now, like the branches and the darkness. Because I listened to so many, he's dressed like Marlon Brando in the Wild One. That is what's that guy's name? Is he in Kick-Ass? I think no, not Kick-Ass. Is it Superbad? Interesting, some lights just behind me. Yeah, but because I listen to so many commentaries, like when I'm going to sleep at night, or just when it's early in the morning, or just generally, but especially like at night, so it seems kind of fitting really that I'm recording a commentary at night, and hopefully I can return the favour of all those great commentators and podcasters out there who entertain me as I'm drifting off to sleep in the wee small hours as it is now. I can't go over. I'm watching Robert Forster at midnight, or honestly 10 to 1 if anybody who's keeping score out there. I can't believe I've got like a page full of notes but for the wrong episode. I don't think I've ever done that before. It'd be interesting actually, because again, anybody who knows me, I don't really watch that much TV, and I normally watch 2 or 3 episodes of a show, not 2 or 3, normally 1 and 2, and I just forget all about it. But as far as I know, I think there's 8 episodes of this, and I've already watched 3.5, so let's see how it goes. If for 4 weeks time I've watched all of them, it's a good sign. It's a sign. Seems so funny though as well because of like how quiet it is, and I mean I'm normally a bit gobby for want of a better phrase, and I've been accused of having a crazy ass accent, so it seems like it just seems like a completely different commentary, because I could speak in my normal speaking voice and anyone would comply very different, but I don't know why it just seems like completely, like say, because I say normally if I'm a bit spaced out on a commentary, it's normally like completely alcohol related, and I've probably got slurred speech and sort of, you know, like I might go quiet for a little bit or something like that, because I'm one of these few crazy people that goes quiet when he's been drinking. But I feel so strange, like say, because I'm quite tired, and I honestly thought like about a proper like old person, you know, I felt like about an hour ago, an hour and a half ago, that I'd be fast asleep by now. It's like I've got my cat behind me, and you know, just this, like say, the lighting's, you know, all subtle and everything, so I could just as easily, you know, fall asleep. So like I'm trying to keep track of this really bizarro show. Like I say, I'm only watching 3 and a bit episodes in, and then watching this episode with the sound almost completely off. It's like, it's such a, it's like, it's, I feel like I'm in part of a game show or something. It's just like some of the shows from like, well, every American TV show really, I'm thinking like Planet Terror and stuff like that, like Agent Savini. But well, I think I've said this on loads of commentaries before, because to me, like American culture feels more natural to me than like I say, when all my favourite films and music and is American. So seeing like that beige police uniform and them checked quilted shirts, and like, because my dad used to wear cowboy hats as well a lot, so like that just seems more natural to me than just seeing, you know, whatever, you know, a traditional or cliched British version of you know, clothing is. And even them houses there, like, where was I was getting somewhere the other day in a car, might have been to Bangor Races. Oh, green jacket there, my favourite colour. But I saw some relatively new houses, and they looked a bit like that exterior shot there, and I honestly thought it always like reminds me of like Poltergeist or something like that, but it felt quite natural, even though otherworldly. Talk about otherworldly though, I was thinking like, because those lines on that checkered floor, almost like an optical illusion. But I wonder if there's actually something within broadcasting regulations that stops people pouring in like an actual proper optical illusion, something that could make you have a seizure or like just fall out of a collapse or something. And they said fall out of a window, collapse. But this is one thing as well, and even though, don't get me wrong, I always feel like completely sacrilegious saying this, that I say, because nowhere, you know, almost nobody gets near David Lynch for doing like out there weird stuff, but think because I did see this in such small doses years ago, and it was like I didn't understand that it was, you know, people walking forwards and they played the footage backwards or vice versa, and you know, the dubbing and sound design and things like that. And I still get freaked out quite easily, but I think, like, say, years ago as a kid, I'd be watching this, like, say, when I was like, you know, 11, 12, 13, and I'd be watching it on my own in the kitchen or with my mum or something. And if somebody comes around that doorway now, I was expecting like something, having a heart attack or something. But oh, let's go for a beat. So yeah, that like, but like watching 3 episodes in a row. And say there has been things that have freaked me out so far in this episode, but because I didn't get freaked out so much watching this, like say, probably got about 25 minutes ago. So if this guy's head flies off, or Agent Cooper as he's known, famous last words if ever there was some, right? But yeah, it's kind of lost a little bit of the impact on me, and you can have too much of a good thing. But I was saying to Tommy earlier on that like I say, I wasn't bored for a second with any of this. I just felt like I was trying to sort of second guess what they're doing. I think they keep thinking they're going to do the you know, they're doing the Marvel films, making them look like the younger and stuff, but yeah, that was funny though as well. On IMDb it said it was on the Sunday just before the premiere yesterday, and it said Twin Peaks stars then and now, and it really cracked me up because I mean, I don't like the thought of aging, but it had a picture of Carl MacLachlan, and he looked exactly the same. It was like they may as well. I think it was because he went like a dead similar suit as well. But he literally, I felt like that guy has not changed in like 25, 30 years. Isn't it funny though as well? I talk about, like, say, how posture and hair changes you, but even though I like absolutely love the colour green, I mean, it just looks like, you know, such a tool in those clothes. Who's that kid? Does he something? Is that skid? Oh no. Oh. So what's really funny as well, because I can't tell what these programs set you up for a fall, that like, and there's a kid there smiling and, you know, just doing the thumbs up. But what is kind of good though as well, because I said I was just going to do the first couple of episodes, and at first I was going to do the first couple of episodes just like I'm doing now, but like I said, I did loads of notes, and then doing this one going off the back of the first 3 episodes. So I don't quite know how it's going to play out, because like I say, those first 2 had some quite, this guy's tired. Those first 2 had some quite shocking moments in them, and there's been shocking moments in kind of all of them so far. This is, you know, I say again, I hate it. I don't know why I'm saying this. Like I say, with the curtains open, and I like to say it's late at night, and I'm getting a little bit nervous now. But the first couple of episodes, and like the third one, I think so far has been the freakiest in a lot of ways. But yeah, just coming off the back of the first 3 episodes, and then like not knowing how this is gonna go, and I can remember talk about remembering things gonna go, but I remember the I'm fine, coffee and all that. But seeing just a few people's tweets talking about the apple pie, I completely forgot about the apple pie thing, and I think like on Twitter, I don't know what the, again, I've turned into a proper old person, what the proper term is for the little graph you can get when you use a certain hashtag. But I think when you type in Twin Peaks, or at least for this, you know, these next few days, I think you get like a little apple pie. I thought it was a cup of coffee at first. I was like, that's not a cup of coffee, but I think it's an actual apple pie. It's a little bit of a saxophone playing. Who's got a green cup? I've got a green plastic cup for it's at my dad's, and it's a big giant one. They used to put booze in. It says I love home on that cup. What's with this music that's playing? There's a public information film in the UK about not drinking and driving. It's from like the 60s. The music's dead simple, but just pancake and syrup. I don't think I've ever had that. The Kanye West song, you use some to just sip the scissors, as they say in songs. Through the Wire, brilliant song. Really should watch more David Lynch stuff, because I've seen Eraserhead a few times. Like I say, I've seen a few episodes, about 5-6 episodes of Twin Peaks, the old run and the new run, series 2 and series 3, or series 1, 2 and 3 I should say. But I think these scenes remind me a little bit of, I think there's a scene in Blue Velvet where it's set in a kitchen, I think the ending is or something like that. It just kind of reminds me of that. But when I watch Blue Velvet properly, Mulholland Drive's a brilliant film. That was another good, I think it was in episode 1, I think, of season 3. And there's a great line where somebody goes something like, "John, you've already touched your 3 meals." And I think it's this homeless guy who's really eating this spaghetti bolognese with Al's Ducks. And Ducks coffee. Oh, is there coffee? No. But I always think that must be difficult for actors. Obviously, normally you just take like little bites because you're filming like multiple takes. But whoever that guy was in that scene, he had to keep really eating like loads and loads of spaghetti bolognese, and the thing was, he sort of, did he starve himself beforehand, or was he got a real good appetite or something like that? I like as well, but normally like in TV shows, even though I don't think I'm really super computer savvy, I do think like one thing that nearly always catches my eye is if a computer looks really fake, and but because like with David Lynch, it's kind of like sort of having your cake and eating it, but in a good way. Like I say, I don't mean nasty at all, but like it can look fake, but kind of because it's in the Twin Peaks universe. Like that's probably what they like. There's what's his name? The guy from RoboCop who passed away. Ferrara, I think his name is. Sorry, I feel really disrespectful. I can't remember his name. Miguel Ferrer, I think his name is. He was in Project Alpha, among many things. I'm laughing at the fact he was an Alpha in Twin Peaks. Alpha, Twin Peaks, and RoboCop. I still can't believe as well that because his name Bob Morton. There's a character in the RoboCop remake named Rob Norton, I think. That's Mount Rushmore there. I mean, I don't know what people are meant to look like, but I'm still always fascinated by like he passed away not long after this, and that you can be walking around talking and doing your job still, and then I guess that's just to quote Rich Price, the way life is, isn't it? And, rest in peace, fella. Anyway, pretty cool. With that rear screen projection there, there's looked a bit weird in that front screen projection. Or is it still rear screen even when it's facing the back of a car? Can see it. There, so U18 it says on it with 018, I think it's the number there. If anybody playing the numbers game, I'd love to open and write down all the numbers, like say some of the that was when a mad visual that where the dead body was in the apartment and it was a woman's head. Do you ever find David Lynch attractive? And a man's body. I didn't even notice it at first. My mate was watching with this, said, "Oh, see now, a man's body and a woman's head." I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm the world's worst detective. Some detective, to quote Lethal Will. she was a great character as well, the one with Armstrong the dog, and that shows something about characterisation there, because I normally can't remember character names, but on the whole can remember a character's dog that I only saw today, well, less than 24 hours ago I should say. Again. Rabbit's foot, I look at Rabbit's foot. She reminded me of somebody then. I can't think who. There's I didn't need the penitentiary number quick enough. I wonder what episode. That's why I said this in the number. I wonder what episode James Belushi's going in. That was another thing when they showed shots of Las Vegas. Trying to figure out if there was any CGI alterations that the MGM Grand was on there, and I'm not sure if that's either closed down or they've just rebuilt the building in a different place. I think I might have seen an advert for Siegfried and Roy, and I can't remember if they are still doing anything or something like that. Just that Samsung laptop. Don't know why I didn't think they'd be like branding per se. Oh my god, there's Badass Agent Cooper. Like I said, if he's wearing contact lenses or there's been some digital manipulation. They kind of do, he's mirroring the other Agent Cooper. But that's where I think, like, that to me is almost more freaky than, like, say, when the Matthew Lillard's wife was doing it in the first couple of episodes, in episode 2. But to me that's almost more freaky. And then was it called The Arm? And is that just a coincidence that there's that guy with one arm and that weird creature is called The Arm? And I keep calling the Red Room, I don't know where I've got that from. I think that's not the actual name. God, the sky is so dark out there. Can't see one single star in the sky. I like how as well, I say, to a bit like Napoleon Dynamite, but I say, I know it's give the game away slightly with, like, say, people having like newer mobile phones, but the way that control desk there in front of them, and them American badge pins seem relatively new, but that, like, say, control desk seems really old-fashioned. So I love how things like that just keep you completely off guard. And I always think of the 89 Batman. It's almost been like, could be in any decade, like, you know, the 60s to like the 90s or something. But what is kind of cool though, because this is my excuse I'm sticking to it, but like I said, because watching this with hardly any sound, it's creating a completely new, it's like, say, I mean, I find it hard enough to follow linear TV shows anyway, let alone ones that are quite out there. Oh yeah, we're talking about out there. This was one of my original out there thoughts that I had about this show. But when it looked like David Lynch was going to return to direct this because of budgetary reasons, and I had this harebrained idea that the 3 people I told it to thought it was the dumbest idea ever. But I don't know if, like, they couldn't have done this even legally, because David Lynch and the other guy got too much creative control over it. But I thought it'd be quite funny to do a series of Twin Peaks. I mean, I much preferred it with David Lynch. But if David Lynch hadn't come back, to do a series of Twin Peaks without David Lynch and just do it, you know, as ordinary as you could, then people watching it be thinking, oh, that David Lynch stuff, it's like real wacky, like this is wacky guy, and then it just being like this, you know, quote unquote normal show, people going, oh, that's just like a normal show. I did say this and I'm wrong, but I say this, I know I did say about the billboard just being across the way, just there, just that thumbs up. That thumbnail's a gif probably, or a GIF or whatever the hell they call them nowadays, but I saw a billboard with Agent Cooper on as well. That's the thing, I don't know if I said or not. seems so funny, 'cause I'm so used to having a drink, even if it's just water, pop or something. It's about one of the very first commentaries I've ever done where I haven't had any additional fluids. Carry on, Twin Peaks. That's what I'd like to see. Said James for the David Lynch part of. That's the first one that came to mind. Ooh, did I ever tell you my favourite colours blue? Didn't do it. This is where something really freaky's going to happen. I'm going to have to throw everything out the window. That there, that thing on David Lynch's shirt, is that the same as that was in that room where the woman's mother was coming back? Or what's that little recording device he's got there? And I kind of love stuff like this though, where did you ever find when in the Method Madness where I think it's deliberately made in such a way where deliberately can't follow what's going on almost, and you can't. I only figured this out really recently, and even though a lot of Hitchcock films were made as puzzles where you could piece them together, and I think Wizard of Oz was made in such a way where you could genuinely argue the toss either way or Total Recall. But I kind of like about this where I'd love if there was this huge big plan where they really knew what was happening, and you know, it really did make some logical sense if you watched every single episode of the films and really studied it and paid attention. And I really love if it's just some random stuff just all pieced together. I think one of the sheriffs in Gremlins was really ill when he was filming it. There's something, I think, like when John Wayne made the shootist, it's really terrible, but some kind of really powerful energy when you, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, but you know, it's kind of fascinating just to see, and then just seeing like, you know, two guys like that with, you know, all their years of experience and all those things that have built up the characters over the years, you know, the character of the person, I mean, and the characters that they portray, and it's just really good. Getting a bit emotional, all the sleep deprivation and commentary hijinks at 12, just gone 13 AM, 70.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 23rd of May, and I'm slowly slipping off the edge of the setting and very close to the mic. Like there was kind of fascinating, like just every little element there, because the camera's so close, and having that like cyany blue tint to it, it's making me pay so much more attention. And like I say, because I haven't seen this before and doing the commentary all at once, it's kind of fascinating actually when you just zero in on certain things that, like say, what's that third episode? I feel like they have actually washed over me in such a different way, but I think it might be good to sort of it's always easier said than done, but it might be good to, when all the episodes have been released, but just they try and watch every single episode, you know, straight after another, including the films, but especially just this third series, it could be fun just to, you know, just try and knock it out all in one go, as it were. The band and bar, that kind of magic. Like, it's they say they keep ending with a musical act. I don't know if this is Haim. I think it might be. No, I don't think it is. These were on. I think they were on Colbert. They're either on Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel a few weeks ago. Did you ever find women on the far right are attractive, or the middle or the left. Got a bit of stuff on that, that's picking up. I just accidentally rubbed my face. It sounded a lot louder than it does. We must be getting close to the ends. So far every single show has ended with a musical act. It's been there we go, starring MacLachlan. I don't know why I've just leave on my mobile phone. I leant for my mobile phone under my leg in a really weird, unconventional movement. But yeah, there was one post in the credits. It said such body's name and a load of question marks. So I don't know what that means, and I didn't even know if you could do that legally. There's interesting name there, EMENETUK, be a cool website address. We've got the series cast and crew. McFlowers, I think that's his name. Loading them up, and I'll close my eyes. I'll put one at random. It might be location manager. Close my eyes again. Pick one at random. My random crew member for Twin Peaks is Stephen Rhodes, and his filmography is getting very close to the end. Miscellaneous 18 Things is Future Man, Before Memory, The Man, Grown House, Westworld, very similar Westworld face on Laura Palmer. There's a Laura Branigan that threw his lip time to his new girl, Scorpion, Lids Town, Lady Town, Scout Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Oh, that's right, I've actually pressed on one. Yeah, Lynch Frost Productions logo just going on. Over on the Scout Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, the player, Asthma, Tabloid, Mischief Night, Mischief Night, and James Rolfe and Mark Mattei talking about that, and Body of Proof, and that was a fan commentary for season 3, episode 4, and a band. I daren't hardly look out the window just in case something scary happens, but